How are you? Fantastic. Great to see you. First time this year for me and you at least. Hi, hi, hi. Sushant. Okay, as the mics come to you.
In the middle, please.
Okay. So as the mics come to you, I have to say, what a phenomenal year last year has been for you guys, okay? So can we start off with giving them a round of applause for the amazing entertainment they've given us? You've given us an original series focusing on the police force at the beginning of this year, which broke several records as well. And now you bring to us Poacher, which really looks like another winner in the making. So let me just get straight to it. What is the secret sauce to Prime Video's ek ke baad ek dhamakedar success, leading to what makes Poacher so special?
Oh, wow. Okay. First of all, a very warm welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us. You're right, Rohini. It's been a busy 2023
Yes.
for us. We had shows like Fuzzy, The Hard, Jubilee, and so many more.
Correct.
In fact, we had the highest number of local originals that we launched in 2023 ever.
Yeah.
So it's a good base to set off
Absolutely.
of. Not just shows, we actually also had movies.
Yes.
We had Pathan, we had Jailer, and of course we had Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani as well on the service.
Woo!
So, there's a bit of those connections that go way back,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So that's awesome. And 2024, as you rightly pointed out, has started off, just as strong. Our recent original Indian Police Force became the most binge-watched first season of a Prime Video Indian original ever. So it's a good place to be. We also had a phenomenal response to Tiger 3
Yeah.
that we had on the service earlier in January. We had the season finale of The Reacher, and now we have Poacher.
Poacher.
So, yeah, police, tiger, poacher, police, tiger, poacher. There's something there. right?
Absolutely. I just got that.
Yeah. Our secret, and to your point of what makes it, what's our secret sauce? Our secret is actually pretty simple to articulate, but it's hard to consistently execute. And it's actually rooted in our principles of customer obsession and something that all the teams at Prime Video diligently and very steadfastly uphold every single day, which is to find, showcase, and celebrate the great stories and the great storytellers
Correct.
from across the country. And compelling, authentic narratives that can come from anywhere and at the same time resonate across the world is really what our focus has been throughout our journey.
We're not going to keep you waiting because all episodes will drop at the exact same time on the 23rd.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's something that we can promise you. And what I'm also excited about is there is an underlying theme, to the show, which is murder is murder. And the reason why we say that is we have to and must recognize that we're one of the many species on this planet. And there is no superiority, but we must acknowledge and act upon, some of those things. This show has all the, the ingredients of the thrills, the twists, the turns, and the edge of the seat, watch that it's going to be. So I'm really, really excited about that. I also believe that this show will appeal to everybody across, all languages, irrespective of, which part of the world you're watching it, from, because the message and the heart of the show is so emotionally appealing, apart from being entertaining, that it just makes it a must-watch for all of us. And I believe that, Richie, my friend, thank you for putting this show together. There is nobody better than Richie who could have, put a show like this together. And I have a lot more to say about him, and I will get to that. But there's one thing that I really like about him, in addition to him being such a fantastic creator, is the research that he does.
Yes.
He has thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of research over years that he's put together before he's designed this narrative about the show. And you're going to see that. You're going to see that on the show. And you're going to see that in this feature we call, X-Ray on Prime Video. So if you haven't heard of that, please go and, see some of that trivia on X-Ray. Last but not the least, what a stellar, stellar star cast. Nimisha, Dibyendu, Roshan. We've done so much work with some of them before. With Roshan, we've done 2 direct-to-service premieres. We did See You Soon. We've done Kuruthi. We've had The Great Indian Kitchen. What a film. And Nimisha has been, what a fantastic performer. So, we feel honored to be working with such a phenomenal, set of talent and to bring this story not just to India, but the rest of the world. And Dibyendu, of course, he was in Mirzapur season 2. And again, his body of work has been, stellar, to speak the least. I have to say a word about QC, our partners, Ray and Sean, who aren't here today. We're going to see you very soon in
So special that I think that whatever I say, or we all say collectively, does absolutely no justice to her many, many talents. So without any further ado, please welcome the multifaceted Alia Bhatt. Thank you. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much, Alia. You look wonderful. Let's start with that, of course. And let's ask you while you're here. You know, we often see you play so many roles on the screen, and we know that you don many hats off screen as well. Can I just, take a minute and do a little bit of tarif, because I must.
Please don't.
Yes.
Please don't.
No, she says.
No, don't.
Okay, we'll start.
You can tell me in my ear later.
How about global icon? I mean,
No,
it has to be
please.
said.
I'm going to walk off stage.
Actor par excellence, producer, entrepreneur, and now, of course, okay, how about this one? Executive producer for Poacher. That's fine, right? With your production company, Eternal Sunshine Productions. So it'll be great for us to know, how did this come into being and what made you come on board as executive producer?
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. So fun story, which I've never said before. Richie and I met back in 2022. I was full-blown pregnant. Just about to pop. Yeah, very close to popping. We spoke about everything under the sun. We spoke about parenting. We spoke about just cinema, movies, art. And in that meeting, he took me through the world of Poacher. I mean, firstly, I was flabbergasted that it was all based on true events. And then we kept talking. He was gracious enough to share the first 2 episodes. I then watched the whole show. But I have to say, forget executive producer, I just responded as a person.
Yeah.
When I saw the show, I couldn't stop watching it. It's a binge and how. You can't take your eyes off the screen. You can't take take yourself away from these characters. Nimisha is not here today, but I mean, she's outstanding. Roshan, who I've had the honor of working with, is unbelievable. And Dibyendu sir, and not just the 3 of them, the whole cast. They really, really hold, they hold your attention to the screen. And of course, Richie has told this story so beautifully. It just really moved me. It moved me emotionally. It moved me physically towards him, saying, tell me what I can do and how can I help. And at Eternal being me and my partner / sister Sajayan Bhatt and our business head Grishma, we are a tiny team of 3. But we really believe that we would like to be a part of stories that move you and impact you and stir some sort of conversation long after you've seen what you've seen. So whether it's a conversation with yourself, whether it's a conversation with another person. Like I remember sitting Richie down and asking him multiple questions. I think we went through a whole interrogation with you, right? Right after we watched it. You just want to know more. And I'm not going to say too much because I think this is just the beginning of the journey. And I say that because I genuinely believe it's just the beginning. So without further ado, I think let's bring the world of Poacher to the people. And I have to say this, I can write it down right now that your minds are going to be blown. So please, let's go ahead.
Well, thank you so much, Alia. We're going to take a look at the trailer, the first ever audience that's going to watch it. So it'll play twice, as you already know. We're going to clear the stage towards the wings, and we'll be right back. Thank you. On the stage once again. Could you please, walk on? Thank you. And alongside that, of course, can I also welcome 3 remarkable lead actors who have borne the weight of this series with exceptional skill and dedication. And that is, of course, Roshan Mathews right on stage. And Dibyendu sir, thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned earlier, Nimisha is a bit under the weather. And if she gets better, she might just join us in a bit, all right? But for right now, this is your cue for photos for my friends from the press. Thank you. Could you get the lights on to be slightly brighter, please, at the sound console? Thank you. One step forward, thank you. Well, thank you so much. And while, of course, the stage gets set for a very interesting Q&A, I'm going to request you to step one step forward for me. And Alia, I'm going to give you back that mic because you might be the most seasoned person to answer this question. Every time there's a trailer launch, there are butterflies. All right? So when this trailer is launched, what did you feel? It'll be great for you to tell us.
Actually,
Sorry, could you get the mic on, please? Thank
Actually, this is a first for me because this is the first time I'm not in the trailer.
Exactly.
But it's still there is still butterflies and elephants and tigers and monkeys all around us, inside us, because I think when you're creatively connected and you want something to do really well, there is anticipation and there's nerves. And I have to say, it feels very relaxing to not be in the trailer, but it's still very exciting because look at the trailer. You know, it's so exciting. I can't wait for people to see more and, see the show on the 23rd of Feb. And then we'll talk more.
Fantastic. And in that, of course, magically, the chairs have appeared right behind us. Please take a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, while we sit down for a Q&A, everybody has a mic with them? Every mic's on and working, hopefully. Yes? All right. Richie, I'm going to have to start with you. I mean, we do know that the series is based on true events, and the characters are, of course, inspired and modeled on real-life wildlife fighters. How did you maintain the balance of fact and fiction while crafting the story?
Ooh.
Yeah, because inspired by true events is, it can be extremely tricky.
Yes. I mean, look, as Manish mentioned before, the research process is very elaborate, and that's for anything that the audience will experience while watching the 8 episodes. I experienced over 2 years while I was researching it. So it was a slow burn for me and a slow realization. And as I gather all of that information, I literally just take the moments that I responded so viscerally to as a human being, and I channel that into the series, basically. So obviously I've curated what to do and what to use and what not to use. This is a fictionalized dramatization of true events. It's inspired by the biggest elephant poaching case in Indian history. Many characters are amalgamations and some of them are direct. I will say generally I will do character extrapolations in backgrounds of characters, personal stories, which are based on educated guesses. And I try not to veer away from the criminal aspect, because there's a lot of strange things in Poacher you'll see. As the episodes go, they get faster paced, and the scenes get crazier. And I cannot make some of those premises up. They're just too strange, you'll see.
Well, thank you for that. I'm going to add another question to you, and not being unfair to anybody else on this panel, I hope you don't mind, but I must ask you, casting stories are my favorite. So please tell us how these 2 gentlemen arrived on the scene or in the forest with you.
Honestly, it was a very straightforward process of auditioning. And all of these actors, Nimisha, Roshan, Dibyendu, they auditioned. They all surpassed my expectation of what I thought they could do with these roles. And when I look at this too, I look at it as we are going into the jungle. And so we're going to be there for several months together. There are going to be leeches. We're going to be in environments where elephants come and go, and we can't meet them. But we have to have a certain type of personality that's intrepid. And so it's not just the talent, it's also, are you ready to go on a real adventure? Because we are going into the unknown on this project.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that, Roshan. Because, of course, we're talking about taking you to the jungle. Let me ask you, your role is modeled on real-life wildlife hero, and that is Jose Luis. Do you want to talk to us about the preparation? Maybe some of those leeches he was referring to or mentioning?
Sorry, I didn't catch the last sentence.
Maybe, the leeches that he was referring to or
God,
mentioning.
the
I don't know
leeches.
what might have happened in the jungle. So.
Yeah, no, I'll leave the leeches for later. But the person who my character is based on is somebody who works at the Wildlife Trust of India, still. He's one of the most interesting people that I've met in life, period. He's also somebody who's a treasure trove as far as an actor who is looking to portray him as a character in a piece or in a project is concerned. There is so much there that after my first conversation with him, where we luckily immediately found a connect. He's also from the same part of Kerala, roughly, where I come from, so the language that we speak, the dialect is very similar, except this area of expertise of his, wildlife crime or wildlife conservation, is something that I obviously do not have that much knowledge about as much as he does. And he has a great understanding of the socio-political scenario in Kerala as well. He's very rooted. He works in Delhi, but he knows everything that's going on everywhere. So after my first interaction with him, which was a long phone call, I called Richie up and I asked Richie I said, I feel like we should have a personal approach to this, try and understand the man from inside rather than try and portray him from outside. And Richie said, yeah, that's exactly how I want you to go about it. And that was what I tried to do. I tried to understand the man. I tried to understand the reasons he had for doing the things that he does. I tried to understand where he gets this passion from and where he finds his satisfaction from. Because it's not like these guys are celebrated or glorified. There's no glory that comes to them. There's no reward that comes to them. In this particular incident that we're representing, on paper, he's technically not even part of the team. You know, he's somebody who comes in to help out. So that for me was very interesting, to find out what drives a man to do something like that. And the leeches we made friends with, I think, by the end of it.
Well, thank you so much. Dibyendu sir, this is for you. I think it'll be nice for you to tell us how easy or difficult was Neil Banerjee as a character for you to portray?
No, it was actually a fantastic process because honestly speaking, Richie, of course, is a fantastic creator, and it was actually a well-researched script. It's a fantastic script, watertight script, and my character is Neil Banerjee, who is actually he's a field director in Kerala Forest Department, and as well as an ex-intelligence guy. So he is making this team. He is leading the team, but he is leading the team is on his own term. And he knows the bureaucracy, he knows because the whole, everything is based on the code documents and testimonials. So it was there. So and he knows how to deal with those areas. So it was a fantastic, but it is a dramatization and fictionalization of the whole, because we are making a crime thriller actually. It is a crime thriller. It is a fun series also to watch, and because there are a lot of awareness, there are a lot of social issues, but at the same time it's an entertaining series. So it has a narrative. So
Yes.
So there are a lot of moments that, my character is based on a real life character, but I never met that person in my life. We have talked about it, but the thing is that it was just one man liaison that whatever question I used to have, like it's one answer is from Richie.
Yeah.
That is that.
Yeah.
Because it's sorted, it's done. So what I need to do is to catch the soul of the character rather not to imitate or be that character, be that human being. So it was a fantastic process, enjoyment with so many other good actors besides you, and fantastic crew. So as a process is so interesting. So slowly, आप character तो पकड़ ही लेते हो.
बहुत सर, आपके बारे में तो इतना ही कहूँगी कि आप हमेशा ये करते हो, लेकिन इस बार भी ये मौका आपने हमें दिया है, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. A big hand for Dibyendu sir, please, once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dibyendu sir. Sushant, this is for you. You've often spoken, actually we've often spoken about Prime Video creating compelling stories and offering shows and movies that resonate with viewers. But here's my question with Poacher. What will make it such a compelling watch? Because this word compelling has not left the room since we started talking about this show.
I hope it never leaves.
Amen.
What did everybody think of the trailer? Can I get a reaction, please? I think that's your answer. I think there's been, the master craftsman that Richie is. I think audiences are in for, as Dibyendu rightly pointed out, it is laden with a message that will provoke, inspire, and force you to act. But at the same time, it is a crime drama. It's a crime thriller, edge-of-the-seat thriller that is riveting from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Right? So it is, when we think about how we program our shows and movies on Prime Video, we are always looking for, shows that are entertaining, obviously, first and foremost, but at the same time, leave something behind.
Correct.
Right? It can inspire you, it can provoke you, it can make you reflect, it can make you reimagine your own personal life or your relationships. And, being a force of change is something that we take a lot of pride in. And with Poacher, I think we have, if I may say so, the perfect combination of being richfully, entertaining, but at the same time deeply inspiring.
Absolutely.
This is a topic that I think we all have some sort of exposure to, but the manner in which it's been brought alive as a dramatic telling, I think makes it something that I think is going to be a conversation driver. It's going to be talked about, not just in India, but globally. So,
Correct.
23rd of February, all over the world, and I cannot wait to bring this to our customers.
It's too late. You can't do this sitting right next to you. It's the 15th, and you're asking me to wait. I will wait, because Alia, we have no choice at this point. But my question, of course, is to you now from, I'm sorry, I have to do this all over again, okay? Actor, entrepreneur.
You have to stop. You're just like troubling me now.
No, but here's my question to you. I would love to know your thoughts and vision as a producer and an EP for Poacher.
My thoughts.
Vision?
My vision? My vision? The vision is there. It's in front of us. I would say my feelings, my emotions, my excitement for the world to see it. The vision, actually, I would say collectively for the team, and a moment for Amazon here, just because they are such a fabulous platform. They give that reach to a show like Poacher. From the very beginning, the first time we all got onto a marketing call, the feeling was, yaar, just go genuine, just go real. The show will do its talking. ऐसे marketing करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है ऐसे. Just let the content do the talking, and it's doing it. I think you just call me, like I can be this green mascot for you all right now to just say this louder and louder, but Poacher is out in the world on the 23rd of Feb, and the vision is out there for the world to see.
Thank you. Thank you so much for adding your weight, your voice, and your love to that. That brings me to Manish. Hi, Manish. How are you doing? Well, I want to ask you, when Richie first came to you with Poacher, you kind of briefly mentioned in the start, but let's go to that. How did Prime Video actually get associated?
So before I get to the how, I want to tell you the why, okay? Our appetite for this scrumptious dish called Poacher comes from 4 very simple but very important ingredients. There's one portion of an Emmy award-winning director, one portion of an Oscar-winning production company, one portion of a national award-winning executive producer, and a very, very, very generous portion of the stellar star cast that we have in the cast and crew.
Wow.
Like, that's really what, and why, this is something that we're so excited about. So it was a no-brainer. It was not something that all of us had to put too much of a mind to. It really was a no-brainer. Now let me come to the how. We call ourselves story chasers. We can do anything and everything to chase good stories. This is about a year ago in London, exactly a year ago in London. I had a really short window to meet Richie in this neighborhood called Shoreditch. And because I had to get all the way across London through that traffic, at a particular time, I managed to get to him 2 tubes journeys and 2 bus journeys later, and I met Richie. And then, we had this long conversation, a really heartwarming breakfast, and then we just knew that this is something that had to be done. And so I think that was the first thing that we did. The second was, I would believe, our conversation with Ray and Sean, who are the producers of the show. It's not just about Amazon selecting a show like Poacher, but I think it's also the producers selecting a platform and a service like Amazon. And I think there are a few things that worked for both of us and why this is such a beautiful marriage of sorts. we've been doing this for now about 8 years in this country. We serve content in 10 languages. We've been the first ones to go deep into this country, penetrate with all these languages, films, shows, and taking all this content globally, right? So the discussions initially were a lot around how do we take a multilingual show and give it all its worth? And that's really where we came in. So we had a fantastic creator, and as a service, what we could do to it, not just in India and take it deep into India and globally, was really what really brought this whole thing together. I think the show again is very engaging. It's a relatable show about human emotions, that's all the things that I have to say. I have a lot more, but more stories for some other time.
Well, thank you each of you for being so kind and patient with your answers to my somewhat obvious questions, but we must, because the passion that you've carried for so many months with this project needs to be translated to the audiences here. And having said that, it's time for our wonderful friends from the media to pose questions. As you might already know, there are questions coming in, and we're going to take names of the journalists who've already sent in their questions. They're, of course, right here with us, starting with, from Kochi, Manorama Vishnu Prasad. Hi. I hope you have a mic with you. Do me a favor, would you please kindly direct your question to one person on the panel? Thank you.
Hi Alia, I'm Vishnu. Most people are not aware about the incident that occurred in 2015, but it deeply affected the state of Kerala. It shook up the government, the authorities. I'm delighted that the show will bring this compelling narrative to the audience worldwide. How do you feel about supporting this authentic, locally rooted story?
How do you feel about supporting this story? He's representing the state where the story is based, said it really deeply affected the people of the state. So how do you feel bringing this story to the audiences, Alia? Yes, this is for Alia.
Oh, how do I feel supporting? I think the same way you feel right now asking me this question, the way it impacted you or the people of Kerala because of, you all were in the thick of it. Everybody was aware at that time. When I watched it, I was perhaps not aware, but it still deeply impacted me. And I don't think I say this, I'm not saying this just because I'm here sitting on the stage, but it really, really leaves an impact. And you really think about it, and I was in tears, and I was smiling, and I was entertained, and I was scared, and I was thrilled, and I was, all the things put together. But supporting a story like this, I think for us as an audience is really important. But I think I really want to thank Rishi for bringing us this story and for putting this together. Just the way you caught on to that one moment when it was sent to you while you were doing something else for Google, and this came to you, and you said, okay, no, this is something that I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell this story. I think there's a lot of genuineness in it, there's a lot of heart in it, and that really comes across when you see the show.
Thank you so much for your question, and thank you for that answer. Our next question will continue to you, Alia, and that is from Shravan Shah. The mic will come to you, Shravan.
Hi, guys. Love the trailer. It's like Rohini said, it gives you goosebumps and it leaves you shocked. Alia, my question to you is, of course, like you answered, that it does give you goosebumps. But what is that one thing that drew you most towards the project?
What drew you most towards the project?
The one thing, it's really hard to say genuinely, and I'm not just being like cute with my answer, because there is so much. For starters, the performances, which I spoke a little bit about, but Nimisha, Roshan, and Dibyendu sir are just fantastic. I mean, forever fans. I'm forever a fan of all of them because what they brought to their characters, it's about the overarching, of course, crime that is going through the show, and that's just taking you through all the 8 episodes, but you're also going deeper into their life, which is so enriching, so interesting, so emotional. There are beautiful moments that each of the characters have, which I can right now think, oh, I'm not going to say it because it'll be giving too many moments away. Like, there's this one scene, I won't say too much, okay? But there's this one scene that Roshan has, can I say with his son? Okay, yeah, with his son, which is beautiful. And when you watch it, you'll know what I mean. There's this one shot that Nimisha gives at the end, which I was like really shaking. And there's this one scene that Dibyendu sir has with his, can I say niece? Yeah, with his niece, which is again so beautiful. Now these are one scenes, but I'm just bringing it up because I know for a fact, like when my sister and I exchanged notes, those were the scenes that really, propped us out to us. The way you see in the end of the trailer, for example, how you saw each and every animal, that's something every time I see the trailer, I get goosebumps. Every time you see an animal in the show, that is, by the way, purely visual effects, you're so enamored. The perspective with which Richie has told this story, the narrative, you really feel like the other in the story. And just the beats, just the drama, just the everything. So yeah, just not one thing, there are too many things. Now I'm going to stop talking. Just watch the show.
Thank you, Shravan, for that question. Thank you, Alia, for the answer. Our next question comes from Neetu Singh, representing Dainik Bhaskar. I hope she's in the room. And her question is to Richie.
Hi, Richie. Neetu Singh from Dainik Bhaskar. पहले तो ट्रेलर बहुत अच्छा है, टॉपिक बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत ज़रूरी है सोसाइटी में इस तरह की कहानी बताना, बिकॉज एनिमल्स पे कोई बात नहीं करता, स्मगलिंग उनकी तस्करी पे कोई बात नहीं करता. आप बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक लेकर आए हैं. मेरा सवाल आपसे यही है कि पहले दिल्ली क्राइम, उसके बाद ये पोचर जैसा इम्पॉर्टेंट इशू क्रिएट करना, क्या आप सच्ची कहानियों से कितना इंस्पायर होते हैं और ये क्यों ज़रूरी लगता है कि आपको ऐसी सीरीज़ बनानी चाहिए?
Thank you very much. The short answer is I generally am drawn to true stories. I think truth is stranger than fiction. And I think fictionalized dramatization of true stories is in fact the most truthful way to talk about our world. I think audiences can sense when they see truth in a performance, in a moment. I think they're very savvy. And so for me, when there's a true story at the heart of it, I mean, our world is so complicated. And within that, the drama we find and the stories worth telling, and I fundamentally believe that the best version of a storyteller is somebody who's trying to make the world a better place. And it's a very idealistic statement I'm making. And that can be diversion. That can be 90 minutes of laughter, still making the world a better place. But in this case, as you said, you've answered the question. These are the voiceless. One of the reasons I wanted to have a lot of Malayalam in this, because it's where the characters were. It's also the language the elephants of that region understand. I feel very, very strongly about trying to do stories for and about people or life that need to be told. And if it doesn't need to be told by me, I'm very happy to stand back.
Thank you, Richie, and thank you for your question. Our next question continues to you, Richie, and this comes from Pooja, who's representing Awesome TV.
Hello, straight. Yeah, hi. So congratulations everyone. The trailer looks very promising and it comes deep from my heart because as an animal lover, such stories needs to be told. So thank you for diving into such subject. My question to you is that the series is multilingual, based in Malayalam, Hindi and English. How challenging was it to direct it?
Those are two separate things, because the Malayalam was not so challenging because I had such a great team. I mean, it was challenging, but there are many challenges in a project like this. What was amazing about the Malayalam is that you have actors who are taking ownership, like Roshan and Nimisha, taking ownership of their language. And I worked with an amazing dialogue writer who completely converted everything because I wrote it in English, and I really wanted to stick to that English translation. So the subtitling that you see in English is exactly what I wrote. And then obviously the Malayalam has to alter that a little bit. Hindi and English, it's a little bit of an easier translation, and I understand Hindi, so it's fine. Malayalam, I don't understand a word. I understand about 5 words now, and I cannot say them here because it's not proper. But we had such a system of checks and balances between Gopan, our writer, and then we have people on set, and then Roshan would do a quality check, and then afterwards in post-production we would do a quality check. When I'd studied each translation, so then when we're on set directing a scene, I'm aware acoustically of what I'm listening for when sentences start and end. Sometimes they're very long sentences. But I've also never shot in the jungle. I've never shot in near elephant corridors. Never shot a story on behalf of a species that will never see it.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you so much, Pooja. Our next question continues to you, Richie. This is Nishad from News 18. What happened? Nishad from News 18.
Hi, Richie.
Hi.
I'm here on your left.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Richie, my question to you is that Nimisha's character, an actual counterpart, is a male. What made you cast a woman in this role?
So Nimisha's character, again, and I'm sorry she can't be here. She is part of the heart of the show. Nimisha's character is modeled off of a few people, actually. It's an amalgamation. It's primarily one person as an inspiration, and then a handful of other officers in the Kerala Forest Department. And the simple answer is this. When I was doing the research, and I was coming across all of the people involved in solving this case, they were all men. And I asked somebody at one point, were there any women involved? And the answer was no. This group of people in the Forest Department, it's a boys' club. And I said, not anymore.
Thank you, Richie, and thank you for that question, Nishad. That was wonderful. Our next question, of course, is for Dibyendu sir, and this comes from Namita. Hi, Namita, are you here? Hi. Namita represents the Punjab Kesari.
Thank you so much, Rohini.
Thanks.
And thank you so much, all of you. Congratulations to you. It's wonderful and great to be a part of the trailer launch of such a series, Poacher. And my question goes to you, Dibyendu sir. We have seen you playing some really impactful characters, and each of your work has always been appreciated. So how does it feel to be a part of this series, Poacher, firstly? And secondly, I want to ask you is what comes more easier to you? Playing characters which are close to your personality, or playing characters which are adapted from the real life like this one as Neil?
Thank you so much for the question. I think I am a chameleon. I want to be a chameleon all the time. I don't want to play myself. I never want to do that in my life. So, thank you so much. People are appreciating a few of my works, and I am really grateful. I'm really grateful that I have that connection with the audience, and people are liking it. So I'm really grateful towards it. And this film is a very special series for me, actually. I must tell you, because there are a lot of things that I sometimes I want to do in life, but I cannot, because I want to be a conservationist, but I am not an activist. I cannot do it on the ground, but it's a nice profession I am in, that I can be in disguise and I can do this, and for a good cause, and at the same time it's an entertaining series, and the beauty of these characters are actually it's based on a real life character, but you don't have that baggage also for the real life character to play that baggage, because it is not that I am imitating that character or I'm trying to be that character. No caricature is there. It is completely soul oriented, because now in Richie's film and in this series, that real life character is also changed a lot, because there are a lot of inputs, there are a lot of other things have come up. So it is a different human being. So it is why, so just to understand that what would be that socio-political, economical background of that persons, and just be into his shoes. That's it. That is my job, and वो बहुत अच्छी तरीके से रिची के साथ होता है, because it's a well-researched script. It's a fantastic collaborative process, and we are always ready with the rehearsals also. Like we used to do a lot of rehearsals. And so nothing like easily achieve नहीं कर पाए बहुत कुछ चीज़ें बहुत hard work करने के बाद achieve किया by the end of the day you feel good about it that when you achieve something such good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question and thank you for that answer. I'm going to continue with you.
Have said, it checked all the boxes, except the scenario wasn't that straightforward for me because this wasn't a project that was offered to me for me to pick whether I wanted to say yes or no to. This was a project that I was approached to audition for. So the moment when I was, so to quickly go through how it happened, the moment I was approached for the audition, I was instantly excited because of Richie. That's all I knew at that point, that Richie Mehta is doing a show and I've been offered an audition, a chance to audition for it. And I knew him as a maker and I was supremely excited by his work and I really, really wanted to collaborate. So the audition happened. Luckily, I got the part. Then I get the script to read, right? And he's one of the best writers whose works I've read, who I've gotten to collaborate with. It was such an exciting script. It's so strange because it's all based on true events and you can't write fiction that way. Richie said this multiple times. It doesn't follow a formula. It doesn't have a set structure that we're familiar with. These guys have nothing to go with in their investigation, nothing to assist them, no systems in place, no guns to pull out. It's all jugaad. So it seemed like such a fun script to play. The character the real life person who my character is based on, and the character, the way it's written, he's a computer programmer, he works in the Wildlife Trust of India, he's deeply interested in snakes, he's making an app on snakes, he's a family man, he's a man who leads multiple lives, keeps a lot of secrets, does a lot of dangerous things, puts his life on the line for nothing in return. None of these things I do. So it was so exciting to attempt to be that person. So yeah, it was something that checked all the boxes.
Thank you, Nawaz, for your question, and thank you, Roshan, for that really nice sneak peek into your character. Now, I can't wait to watch it, man. That was very well done.
There's a lot more there.
Can't wait, really. Especially snakes. Okay, Litwin is here with us. Hi, Litwin. There's a mic coming to you. And your question is for Roshan again.
Hi. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much. It was really an amazing trailer. Really enjoyed it. And especially as people coming from Kerala, we would like to say that, there is this part. Thank you so much, Richie, for bringing up this story because there is something that we are really not proud of and the world really wants to know. So the question is to Roshan. Roshan, you have worked with Nimisha on Ritekin Dalligese and also shared screen with Alia in Darling. So how was your experience working with such a stellar cast in Poacher and also directed by Richie? And how did you feel when you heard that Alia is backing up this project as an executive producer?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Nimisha has been such a fabulous performer in Malayalam since the first film that she did there, and she's been an actor who I'd been waiting to work with. Uruthekkan Thalligese, the project you mentioned, was the first time I got to work with her, which also happens to be the set on which I received the script for Poacher and read it. And I found out that Nimisha was also going to be part of the show. And this was a period where Nimisha and I did 3 projects together in a row. And it was the most magical journey that I've had with any co-actor. Firstly, this was the first series I did. This was the first time I traveled with a cast and a particular character with a crew for this long a period of time. And then there was all the work that Nimisha and I had done before that. So it was great to have that chemistry when the project began, because once you watch the show, you'll know these guys are already friends from before the story begins in Poacher. So it was nice to be able to bring that on set, pre-set, and it was already in place, at least that part of it. That's a sense of comfort, that an actor can really use, especially on the first few days of shoot. She's also an incredibly exciting co-actor to work with, because Alia and I were discussing this earlier. She's unpredictable. So you can't go in with a set plan on how you want to play a scene out, because Nimisha will break that for you. So you have to be there, be very much in the moment and react to what's happening or what she's throwing at you. And she's great to, play tennis with. While we're doing a scene, acting tennis, yeah. Then I think overall, like Nimisha, Dibyendu sir, the rest of the cast, the crew that I got to work with on Poacher, Johanna, cinematographer, Richie, these are all people who I had a great time with, but that's very personal. But professionally speaking, these are all people who inspired me on a daily basis, which is also one of the reasons why the show and the period of time we spend shooting for it stays memorable, because 4 months is a long time if you're not happy on a set. So that's something I'm very grateful for. About Alia being here, I am happy, I am honored, and I'm supremely grateful for that, because the last time I was on a stage that was this big, in front of a crowd that was this big, was for a project that gave birth to Eternal Sunshine Productions, and that was a song launch, and at that point Alia was my co-actor. And it was also one of, I think, the most memorable, biggest projects in my career so far, something I was very fortunate to be part of. And through that journey, I always knew Alia as an artist through the work that she's done, and I have a great deal of respect for her and the work that she chooses to do and how she does it. But also as a person, from the little that I know of her, she's somebody who's very driven by passion, driven by emotion. You must have noticed how earlier when she got a question about her vision with the project, her answer was very rooted in emotion. So for somebody who works with that focus, somebody who's driven by what the heart wants, I'm very, very glad that Alia is associated with this project, and how graciously she's been sort of tilting the spotlight towards the show and the rest of us. We're extremely thankful for that, Alia. And I also, the optimist in me wants to continue believing that when you do something with a lot of heart and with the right intent and with empathy and do it sensitively, good things happen. Like Amazon Prime getting on board and Alia associating with the project and all of you turning up here today. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that question, Lidwin. Yeah, really. Right there. I mean, he just spoke for all of us on this stage right now. Yeah, mic drop, Roshan, mic drop. But we do have a couple more questions. And this one, of course, goes to you, Sushant. And asking you the question is Vivek. Vivek is representing the Hindu today.
Hi, Sushant. If I'm not wrong, this is the first time Prime Video is teaming up with Mr. Mehta and QC Entertainment. So are there talks or plans to kind of extend this partnership? Could we see more projects with the same team?
I think that is just another way of asking us when is Poacher season 2, Richie.
Nice.
I think we just got asked that question. Yeah.
Wait, are you asking me that question?
Somebody just asked us, broadly framed, the question was framed as, do we see
Season
more
2?
Collaborations with Richie and with this team? And I think that was just another way of asking us when is season 2.
You want me to answer that?
No. But, it's been such a rich journey. And first of all, I loved how Roshan kept throwing some breadcrumbs about the show, as you were sharing answers. Now you know a little about, the backstory of some of the characters as well. it's been, I had the opportunity to, as Manish was mentioning, about a year ago, we started this journey and we knew that this is a story that we had to tell. It's been an incredible, incredible journey with the entire team. And I honestly cannot wait to see what more we can do. So let me leave it at that. Right now, it is Poacher on the 23rd of February.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Thank you, Sushant. Manish, you have to end this for us right now. But I'm going to tell you once again to tell everybody here, because everyone in this room is so special. They're followed, their publications are followed, and why we're doing this, is to tell this really important story. But I think that Prime Video is doing something beyond just telling a story. You also have the QR code at the end of the episode. It'll be great if you can just underline that for us before we go out tonight.
I think some of these things have come together so naturally. And I think some of the best things are card with, the picture of the elephant at the back.
Right.
I have that pinned
I
on
know.
my son's softboard in the house. So thank you.
It comes down to handshake agreements.
Absolutely.
Which are based purely on, are you as good as your word?
Absolutely.
And that's how this is all translated to this point. And yes, we're talking about elephants and poaching. There's a message in this. However, all we ask you to do is press play on episode 1. If you don't get to episode 8, that's on us. Okay? That's our fault.
Wow.
Just press play on 1.
You can also choose the language of your choice. We're making it available and accessible in many, many languages. So, this is meant for audiences worldwide. And I hope you enjoy it all.
You know what I love most, gentlemen, is the fact that usually I need to wrap things up, all right? But this is perhaps the most organic end to a press con that we've ever done. And we kind of went off script a little bit as well towards the end. And that tells all of you how passionately we feel about this wonderful series that's dropping on the 23rd. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, before we go, there will be photographs. And we will make that happen, as my friends in the press will indicate. Alia ma'am, aa jaiye. So while that happens, thank you so much. And don't forget, 23rd of February on Prime Video. Thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you, everybody on stage. Thanks. Now they'll call. Okay, there's a request once again for the lights to be higher. Can the lights be brighter? Thank you.